Good morning, travelers. It is essentially day one of my cruise tour in Alaska. I flew in last night, got in pretty late, and I had an overnight hotel at the Baymont Inn Suites. This is, I will say, by far the darkest hotel room I have ever been in, and I've been in a lot of hotels. There is one can light above me. There is another can light in the other half of the room, and that's it. There's no like lights or anything or lamps or nothing. Oh, there's under the counter lighting in the sink area because there is a sink, and of course strangely enough, the bathroom is really well lit. So yeah, it's just kind of weird to have a really dark room. So one thing, I'm in Anchorage, and today I'm going to go over to back to the airport and take an airport transfer to get me to the hotel where this all begins. It is the Captain Cook Hotel. I actually looked up the pricing on what they charge just as a guest per night, and that was like $400. And so I decided to go a little less expensive. But maybe I'm paying the price. I'm not sure. I guess I'll see when I get to the next hotel whether it's well lit. The other thing about this room is I walked in last night. I must have gotten here close to midnight, just before midnight. They had the window open and they had the AC running full blast. So the thermostat was set to 50 degrees and it was really cold in this room. And so I shut the window and I turned the heat up, but I still froze last night. And there's no extra blankets or anything. I actually went and got a couple towels from the bathroom and laid them across the bed for extra warmth at my feet because I had the heater going, but it felt like it was blowing cold air. So I was freezing. I slept with a sweatshirt on as well as thermals, and I was cold. I woke up cold a couple of times. They did have breakfast downstairs. I just went. Breakfast consisted of 3 different kinds of bread you could make toast with, coffee. Oh, these very cute. Look at that little tiny muffin. So I got a couple of little tiny muffins. I think they had cereal and they had yogurt. That's it. Oh, hard-boiled eggs. At least I hope to God they're hard-boiled because they're just sitting in a container and there's no way to cook them. So that was what they called breakfast, and it was better than nothing. I'm working on my coffee so I don't keel over from lack of caffeine. And I'm supposed to get on. They do have a shuttle to the airport. I'm signed up. You have to sign up when you check in for a time slot, and I'm signed up for 8:40 a.m. So that's the plan. I'm going to have my breakfast. I'm going to repack from the stuff that I had to unpack last night. That's the thing about cruise tours, and it's why I'm doing the land portion first, is that you have to pack and repack every night because you're going for a different hotel every night. When you check into the first hotel, you're allowed 2 bags. One bag is going to be sent directly to the ship. You're not going to see it again. And the other bag is the one that you bring with you. They take it, I guess, at like midnight outside the door or something. I'll get the particulars and tell you for sure. But they'll take that every night. You won't see it again until you get back to your next hotel, and they have time to deliver the bags. And so those are the way they handle the full-size suitcases. And then they specifically say that you cannot take like the roller bags you would normally use for carry-ons in an airplane because they won't fit in the buses and the trains. You have to have something, and they give you dimensions in the description. And so I brought my photography backpack, and I had a heck of a time fitting everything into it that I had to carry just based on their limitations and what I could put in my regular bags. So it's going to be fun. It's really, really heavy. It was very interesting trying to get it above my head on the airplane flight. Yeah, that was fun, putting it up in the overhead bin and then getting it back down. Just picking it up and putting it on my back has been an exercise in weightlifting. So anyway, I'm going to eat my little muffins and my coffee, and I'm going to get ready for my day as best I can. Wish me luck. I'll let you know what happens. The hotel shuttle is just a minivan, and that works out well. But it explains why they require such tight sign-ups. So over here is the check-in for the cruises, but across here is the check-in for the cruise tours. Hello, Solo Sue here. It is the end of our first full day of this land tour, and I am at the Hotel Captain Cook. It is quite a step up from yesterday's hotel. I will say that much. They actually gave me, I guess it's a suite. It has this whole living area, and you'll see in the room tour, it's got this whole living room area, and then it has a whole bedroom. It has 2 bathrooms. It has 2 closets. It has 2 hair dryers, just in case I need to blow dry my hair twice, right? Anyway, that was a surprise. I think it's because I won the bid on that mini suite for the ship, and so maybe they upgrade your accommodations in the hotels as well. I guess I'll find out tomorrow when we go to the next hotel, right? But in the meantime, I'm totally enjoying this suite. Got here, let's see, I took the shuttle at 8:40 to the airport. And the shuttle driver knew everything about where the baggage claim check-in was for Princess. She's like, oh yeah, you just go in, it's right there. It was. You go into baggage claim 1. And there's actually 2 desks. So there's one against the far wall, and that was where I went to because I didn't see the signs on the one closest to the door that I walked in on. They're facing the other direction. I guess they expect most people to be coming from, airplanes and to be coming down those escalators and such, and not people to be walking in the other side of the door. So I walked in, went up to check in, and asked her a question about the logistics of when they take the bag that's going to the ship, and when I have to keep them with me, and do I need to keep them with me to the hotel. And she's like, oh, you're going to a hotel. You're at the wrong desk. And she walked me back across the other side and checked me in there. And I had gotten a airport transfer, which was the whole reason that I went back to the airport, right? I think, if I recall correctly, the airport transfer was $26. I will check that. But she didn't have any buses or anything. It was early in the morning, in her defense. But she said that she would just put me in a cab, so that was fine. And as we're walking out with the bags and everything, she says, okay, so the cab is all taken care of, including the tip. And that was good to know, because otherwise I would have tipped them. So she had me get into the cab, and they took me to the hotel. It was, it was like 10 minutes or so, I guess, maybe a little longer. And I watched how much the cab fare was. And the cab fare ended up being $21.50. And so I guess the cab is actually a little bit cheaper for Princess, even with the tip. Or if you wanted, in contrast, to do it just as a cab, you could pay a little bit less than you do for the transfer from Princess. So it's up to you. But just to let you know how much that was, I thought, that was good information. So I got to the hotel. The hotel is really nice. I can definitely see why it was charging more. It is downtown. It is right across from the courthouse, and there's like a little civic center area, so there's a bunch of government buildings there, And where he dropped me off, you walk in and you wind up having to go around first to the check-in. The regular check-in desk is like, the first half of the U, and then you keep going around to the other half, and you basically make a big U, and that's where the Princess desk is. And I went to check in, and it was still early. And she said, well, of course, rooms are not available yet. She said the keys usually get here around 11, and check-in is 4 o'clock, though, so, you may not get a key until then. And she asked if I wanted to, sort of go over my welcome packet first. And I said, yes, absolutely. Because I knew I had this Portage Glacier tour, but I didn't know where or when or any of the logistics, and I didn't want to miss it. And it was a good thing I did, because she walked me through it. It was at 1:30. It leaves at 1:30, so like 15 minutes before. I was supposed to be down in the lobby area in a particular side. It's on the 5th Street side where the buses line up. And she told me which coach it was going to be, what time and everything. But then she also, went over some of the other logistics of the other places we were going. I have a meal voucher because I did a meal plan. That's one thing, that you may not know, is that you can pre-purchase a meal plan for a cruise tour. And it includes a certain number of meals at certain places. That was what I did. And so it all kicks in tomorrow with breakfast on the train. So I do not have to worry about getting breakfast at the hotel because of that, which is a relief, because we have to be down there for them to pick us up at 8 o'clock in the morning. So, and she also said that you have to have your bags, and I thought this was interesting, inside your hotel room by 6 o'clock in the morning, and they will come in and take them, and you have to have the tags on them. And she gave me these tags. One of them was, I'll see you at the ship. And then one of them was, I'll see you at the hotel, the next hotel. And they also had a different tag for the one for the hotel that actually said the name of the hotel. And some more information actually talked about how you have to have 2 tags on each bag. For the one going to the hotel, it is I wanted, this to go to the hotel, and then the tag with the hotel name. But your I'm going to the ship actually needs to have the I want this to go to the ship tag that she gave me, but it also has to have your luggage tag, like you would normally, print off and put on your luggage, that has your ship, name and all that stuff, so that it doesn't get delivered to the wrong place. So yeah, that was interesting to see, and I had been curious about how all the logistics would be, and so I was glad I did that. So I hung out in the lobby for a while. I was thinking I would go and get lunch And they have a breakfast, well, what turns out to be a breakfast restaurant. I didn't realize it was only breakfast. And when I went to go and have lunch, it was already closed, so that was kind of a bummer. But they have lots of restaurants in this hotel. They have another thing that looks a little like it would be a Starbucks, so it's got, like pastries and coffees and stuff like that. And I wound up going there and just getting a banana and a cheddar cheese scone. But that was good. I mean, it was something to sort of tide me over for the tour, because I didn't want to be starving. The only thing I'd really had for breakfast was those little blueberry muffins that were this big, and coffee. So then I came back to the hotel and got my room, and you'll see from the room tour, it's a very nice room, and I was quite pleased with that. I did my room tour video, and then I went down to Fletcher's for dinner. Fletcher's is a restaurant in the hotel. It is a bar and restaurant. It's quite nice. What I really liked about it is the ceiling is done in those tin tiles that you used to see in old bars and restaurants in the Victorian era. Just beautiful tin tiles. And so that was really pretty. The food was very good. I had chicken noodle soup as a starter. It needed seasoning. It was very flavorless, the broth. So I didn't eat very much of that. But then I had beef stroganoff, and that was really good. I had a half order. I really appreciate that you could get a half order of something. And because what would I do with leftovers here? We're leaving in the morning. Anyway, I asked him about mojitos, and he said, yes, they make mojitos. And then he had to come back and say, no, they don't have any mint. That seems to be a downfall in a lot of places. They just don't have the mint. So he said that they could make me something else. And I said it had to be rum-based. And so he said, well, we made something in the summer that was, for the Iditarod. He said he made it for the Iditarod before, and it was orange juice and rum with muddled raspberries at the bottom. And so I said I'd try that. That was really good. He also offered to add some grenadine if it wasn't sweet enough, but it was just fine. It didn't need the grenadine. He said, you can't take the grenadine out, but if you try it and you like it this way, then or you want more sweetness, just let me know. So that was fine. It didn't need the grenadine. And yeah, that was it. And then I came back up here, took a shower, and started transferring data and charging everything for tomorrow. It's 10 o'clock now, and I'm going to go to sleep because I have to be up at the crack of dawn. Solo Sue signing off.